Oh, hey YouTube, it is T Haven. How is everybody? Listen, I am relaxing right now. Okay, I had some thoughts about how when people, let me say this is me, okay, coming out of a relationship, you sometimes feel like it was a failure, right? And the person didn't make clear why it didn't work, why they're like moving so fast is to end it. I had a situation like that, and this was 2015. This person was so good to me, okay? Came in strong, came in very strong. And I'm not saying I got ghosted or none of that. That was not the case. This person had gotten in trouble and they were actually securing me, okay? This was a serious matter. And I really thought they was lying. I really thought they was playing. And this person was very close to my sons. He was my son's barber. And we had like instantly like connected. Like it was a unbelievable type of connection, okay? It's one of those relationships or people that you run across that you click and you're trying to figure out where this person been for so long, and you're like, man, if I would have known you like years ago. That's kind of how we both felt, like, where you been? And but as the person that I am and the sign that I am, y'all can figure it out. First of the year, I don't get complacent in a relationship, but I also don't push in a relationship. Meaning, I don't need to know your every move. I don't need to know your every whereabouts. That's not, to me, trust or building trust or feeling safe in a relationship. Me knowing your every move is not making me feel safe. It's not making me feel like I can trust you, because you can be right in my face and still be doing me harm. I've learned that throughout the years, right? So that doesn't mean, because just because they're in your presence, that don't mean that they still can't be doing stuff, being sneaky and doing stuff behind your back. But anyway, we tend to come out of relationships, and I'm talking about me, come out of relationships, and we're looking for a person to replace that person because it ended so abruptly and we didn't understand. Instead of breathing and taking in that moment to say, what can I do to get this cleared out of my system? Let me get my mind clear. Let me get my heart clear. Let me cry it out. Let me be okay with it, because I wasn't okay with it. Because I like, it really stressed me out. I was not okay with it. And this person needed me to be okay. And I remember the moment that he said he had to walk away. He called me on the phone. I'm glad he didn't do it face to face. It would not have been good. It was a time in my life where it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad timing, but it was like you had to do it at this time of the year. And I didn't understand, like, who does that? But this person, once again, was trying to keep me from harm and danger, okay? He knew, he really knew the danger was around. He knew it. Some stuff was going down that I did not even know about. And I remember he was moving around, and he was having to move from Mississippi. And he was moving to Memphis. So he was making a lot of changes, and I was not a part of the changes because I didn't want to get too close, because he was ending a thing and coming into something new. So he thought, right? But there was a whole lot of moving parts that I did not know about. And I didn't ask no questions, because if you're not forefront, if you're not forthcoming and providing information, then I'm not going to push to ask. I'm going to allow you to be comfortable enough to come to me, because I need to know that you trust me with your information and your business. And if you don't, that's cool. Keep it where it is, okay? I'm okay with that. So anyway, I just remember the abrupt ending of that situation. It was a situation. It was a relationship to me. I wish I could talk to him and find out on his end. But anyway, I can't talk to him now. But we tend to want to replace people, and we should not be replacing people, because the next person should not have to make up for what the last person could not do for us, or making up for what we feel like lost time, or I lost a piece of myself. No, you didn't lose a piece of yourself. That was a situation that it had to end. Okay. I now can say I appreciated. My son found out probably a year later that some harm came to him, and he ended up having to suffer consequences behind his actions and things that he was doing behind the scenes. Okay. Several times I asked about him. I was concerned. I was just like, have you seen him? Is he okay? It was kind of like, wow, And I know he probably would say, if he could go back inside of the relationship, and many nights he called and said, you hadn't even called to check on me. I remember those days. And I was like, I apologize. I'm going through myself. I remember those conversations, and he probably could go back and say, man, I never knew you cared so much, or you were probably concerned. And my side, we just have a funny way of showing people how we love people. We have a funny way. We have a distance about ourselves. We just do. We don't mean to put a wall or build a brick wall between people. And we know we leave people kind of like on high alert sometimes. We don't mean to. But it's just kind of how we are. But my safety, I appreciate him looking out for me. If I could get this message to him, my son know exactly who I'm talking about. If he could see this message, he would know that I was so concerned, and I was asking about him, and I was like, wow, this person right here, looked out for me 100%. Even in a relationship, looked out for me 100%. That person that love your kids and your kids love him, that person. Okay. Anyway, that's just kind of like a great story time of my life. Y'all like, share, subscribe if y'all enjoyed that. I will be bringing more story times. I'm going to be talking about a situation that went on in my family. And it's not anything too grossed out or anything like that, but it's just things that I had to deal with as a young girl. How I dealt with it, how I processed my feelings, and how I got through it, and understanding life, and that you can't change people. People have to want to change themselves. Okay, I'm going to be providing that story time video of my childhood. Okay. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Y'all share this video. If y'all enjoyed this, I'll be bringing some more. Okay. Y'all leave comments in my comment section. I appreciate you. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out. YouTube. Bye.